Second house represents your family. Second house represents your speech or communication. Second house represents your wealth, accumulated wealth. Second house represents your face. And second house also represents your eating habits. What happens when sun goes to the second house? We will be discussing about that in this video. Hello friends, my name is Hardik and you're watching my YouTube channel on Vedic Astrology, Astrokeen. So let's start. So what happens when sun goes to the second house? Now when sun goes to the second house, your family plays a very important role in developing your confidence, building your confidence. You get a lot of strength, a lot of mental strength, a lot of ego, a lot of pride, a lot of confidence from your family. When sun goes to the second house, you are a very, very vibrant personality. You are somebody who is outspoken, somebody who speaks very confidently, and sometimes that can be egoistic. The other person may think that you are egoistic, and if sun is afflicted, then maybe you can have a harsh speech, or you can speak very rudely. You may be very blunt, which is not required. So that's what happens when sun goes to the second house. Now when sun goes to the second house, your family can give you a lot of wealth. If sun is well placed, because second house also represents is one of the house that represents your profession. I have also seen a lot of people with sun in the second house in government, or they're working, you know, in public sector organization, or these are the people who are into politics. So you kind of do well from that particular angle as far as profession is concerned. Now, what happens when sun goes to the second house? What else happens when sun goes to the second house? When sun goes to the second house and it is well placed, then you can have a lot of wealth. You can have a lot of property. You can have a lot of, you can get a lot of wealth from your family. So that's something which is very much possible. Now let's look from ascendant wise. What happens when sun goes to the second house for an Aries ascendant, and what happens when sun goes to the second house for a Taurus ascendant, till what happens when sun goes to the second house for a Pisces ascendant. Let's start with Aries. Now for Aries ascendant, and I've already explained what all happens. Those are all natural signification of sun in the second house. With that, when you study your chart, you also need to see what is your ascendant and what is that house where Leo is positioned, because sun is the lord of Leo or ruler of Leo. So if, say for example, Aries ascendant, Leo is in the fifth house. So sun rules the fifth house. The fifth house lord goes to the second house, which means that you are very communicative with your children. Your children are very, very close to you. You get along with them very well. They bring in a lot of confidence in your life. They give you a lot of pride. Your children may give you a lot of wealth. You get old, you may accumulate a lot of wealth through your children. But if it is afflicted, then maybe your communication with your children may get hampered. You may become rude with your children and so on. Now what happens for a Taurus ascendant when sun goes to the second house? Now for the Taurus ascendant, sun is ruling your fourth house. The fourth house goes to the second house. This is pretty good combination, because it is 11th from 4th. Second house is 11th from 4th. So you can get a lot of, or you can gain a lot of property, a lot of vehicles. Your education will help you earn a lot of money. Your mother will play a very, very significant role in your life. You will get a lot of ego from your mother. Your mother will be a very strong part of your family. That's what happens when sun goes to the second house for a Taurus ascendant. Now for a Gemini ascendant, sun rules your third house. Now when third house lord goes to the second house, this means that you are a very communicative person. Your family give you a lot of courage. Also your siblings. You are somebody who likes to interact with a lot of people. You are a person who will do well if he's in the line of media or in the line of some kind of a communication line, like a journalist. You'll do pretty well in those lines. That's what happens when Sun goes to the second house for a Gemini ascendant person. Now, what happens for a Cancer ascendant person if Sun is the second house? If Sun is in the second house for a Cancer ascendant person, Sun is its in own house, right? So this clearly means that you value your family very well. Your family gives you a lot of pride. If it is well placed, you can do really well in politics or in government jobs. You'll be in a very, very high position as far as government jobs are concerned. You are somebody who's very blunt, who's very open, who's very communicative. Your father gives you a lot of confidence. Your father can bring you lot of wealth as well. That's what happens for a Cancer ascendant people. Now, what happens for a Leo ascendant person? Now, for a Leo ascendant person, your first house lord or your ascendant lord goes to the second house, which is a kind of a dhan yoga. So, if it is well placed, you will get a lot of money. Also, what happens is these are the people who are very confident. These are the people who value their family very well. The family are very, very important for them. These are the people who likes, again, if Sun is in the second house and it's well placed, you can communicate well with people around you. You'll have a very, very magnetic personality. Your face kind of glows. Yeah, because Sun kind of brightens the house where it is placed. Sun kind of illuminates the house where it is placed. So those are the things which can happen. Now, what happens for a Virgo ascendant person? Now, for a Virgo ascendant person, if Sun goes to the second house, then there can be ups and downs in your wealth as far as it is concerned, because it's the 12th house lord. Now, 12th house lord going to the second house, you may have ups and downs as far as your wealth is concerned. A day you'll have a lot of money. After a few months, you will lose all your money and so on. So that can happen. Also, you are a person who will be talking a lot about spirituality. You will be interested in spirituality. You will be interested in reading about spirituality. You'll be interested in talking about spirituality. Now, these are the people who may kind of remain a little away from their family, right? So family will you'll have a distance from your family, maybe in relationship, maybe with the distance. They may be staying at one place, you may be staying at a different place or a different country for that matter. So those are the things that will happen for a Virgo ascendant people if Sun is placed in the second house. Not a great position to be in. Now, what happens for the next ascendant, which is the Libra ascendant? Now, for Libra ascendant people, Sun is your 11th house lord. Now, when the 11th house lord goes to second house, this again is a dhan yoga. So you may get a lot of wealth if it is well placed. You will do very well from your monetary gains point of view. Your friends will give you a lot of confidence. Your friends will bring you, you'll treat your friends like your family members. You will communicate with them a lot. You may decide to write or speak about your friends with other people. You'll take a lot of pride talking about your friends. And this is a good position to be because 11th house lord is going to the second house. So that's a good wealth yoga. So you may be a rich person, a fluent person. Now, what happened for a Scorpio ascendant person? Now, for a Scorpio ascendant person, Sun is your 10th house lord. It goes to the second house, which means that you will gain a lot of wealth from your profession. Your profession can give you a lot of name and fame if it is well placed. So there's a possibility of you earning a lot of wealth. You somebody you may be somebody who's into the line of sales or in the line of communication. You may be a sales head of a company if you do well. So that kind of a combination I've seen when the 10th house lord goes to the second house. Also, again, in government, in politics, the profession gives you a lot of pride, gives you a lot of, brings a lot of confidence in your life. You speak a lot about what you do, how you're working, and so on, about your professional life. Now, what happens for a Sagittarius ascendant? Now, for a Sagittarius ascendant people, Sun is your ninth house lord. Ninth house lord goes to the second house, again a Dhan Yoga, which will give you a lot of fortune, which may bring a lot of prosperity in your life. Your father may play a very, very important role in your life. Your father will be a very close uh, a close associate with you. You may be taking a lot of pride, a lot of ego from your father. You may get involved in his work. Your father will have a lot of property which he may give it to you. Now, what happens for a Capricorn ascendant? Now, for a Capricorn ascendant person, Sun is the eighth house lord, and Sun goes to second house. Now, you are a person who likes to talk about spirituality, talks about astrology, talks about, healing. He communicate about healing and so on. So you're a person who's a little psychic. You're a person who talks about that. And again, your wealth will have its ups and downs because eighth house is about transformation. So you may suddenly get a lot of money and then you may suddenly lose all those monies. So that's very much possible. Now let's move to the next ascendant. That's the Aquarius ascendant. Now for Aquarius ascendant people, Sun is your seventh house lord. Now when seventh house lord goes to the second house, this means that your partner, your spouse is very important part of your family. You give him a lot of importance, you gain a lot of confidence from him. You try to talk about, you try to communicate with him very well. If it is well placed, your partner may bring in a lot of wealth for you, yeah, or jointly you may build a lot of wealth. But if it is not well placed, then there can be friction in your communication. You may get aggressive while communicating with your partner or with your spouse. So you need to be careful of that fact. Maybe your business will give you a lot of money, a lot of wealth, only if it is well placed. Now, what happens when Sun goes to the second house, or Sun is present in the second house for the last ascendant, that is the Pisces ascendant. Now, for a Pisces ascendant person, Sun rules your sixth house, and sixth house goes to the second house. So, this means that you need to be careful about your enemies. Your enemies may take away all your assets. Yeah, they may create some kind of scam to put you in trouble. Also, you need to be careful as far as your uh, face is concerned, because you may have diseases concerned to that. But on a good side, if for Pisces ascendant people, if Sun goes to the second house, then this can, because here Sun is exalted and it is the sixth house Lord, this can mean that you may do very well in finance. So you may earn a lot of money from a profession in finance, or maybe advising or becoming a financial advisor, or getting into litigations and understanding about that. This can also mean that you are somebody who likes to talk about diseases, who likes to discuss about diseases, likes to read and talk about them. That's it, guys. This is what happens when Sun is present in the second house. Of course, this is very generic view, as I have said earlier in my other videos as well. You need to study the chart entirely, because a lot of people come and ask me that my Sun is present in this house, what will be the result? My Mars is present with Jupiter in this house, what will be the result? It's uh, very difficult to explain through that combination. This is very generic info. This will give you one particular thing about your life. But when you're studying your chart, you need to study the chart entirely. You need to see what are all the planets doing, what are all the houses doing, and then you need to come into conclusion. But these are good things to understand in silo and then comprehend it, to study the chart entirely. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please do share it. Please subscribe to my channel. Take care. Bye bye.